I'm 81 years old, and for 54 of those years, I've carried a secret I couldn't say out loud. In 1967, I was hired by a classified government program in the Cascade Mountains. They told me I'd be teaching a primate to communicate. They didn't tell me the subject was a Bigfoot, and they didn't tell me what they'd done to capture it. For 3 years, I taught that creature to understand English, built what I thought was trust. Then one day, it looked at me and asked a question. 5 simple words. A question I couldn't answer. A question that destroyed everything. My name is Dr. Sarah Chen. I'm 81. Pancreatic cancer. Maybe 6 weeks left. I'm not taking this to my grave. Before all this, I had a career. He had a fiancé. Had a normal life. Then I took a job I should never have taken. This is what happened. Before I get to the question, you need to understand how I ended up there. It was 1967. Summer. I was 24 years old, fresh out of Stanford with a PhD in behavioral psychology. My dissertation was on teaching chimpanzees to use sign language, proving animals could communicate abstract ideas. Revolutionary work for the time. Most scientists thought language was uniquely human, that animals were just stimulus response machines. I'd spent 3 years proving them wrong. My chimps learned over 100 signs. They combined them, made requests, asked questions. More food, please. Where banana? Sarah play now? Simple, but intentional. Thoughtful. It was groundbreaking. My advisor, Dr. Morrison, was thrilled. Sarah, you're going to revolutionize the field. He assumed I'd go into academia, publish papers, get tenure somewhere prestigious. But there was a problem. I was broke. 3 years of graduate school on a tiny stipend, student loans piling up, and the academic job market in '67 was terrible. I applied to 20 universities, got 3 interviews, no offers. My fiancé, David, was getting impatient. He had a residency lined up in Boston, wanted me to come with him. Get married. Sarah, you can't wait forever for the perfect job. Come to Boston. We'll figure it out. But I didn't want to teach introductory psychology to bored undergrads. I wanted to do research. So I waited, and our relationship got colder. Then, in July, I got a letter. Plain envelope, no return address. Postmarked Washington, D.C. Inside was one typed page. Dr. Chen, your research has come to our attention. We have a position that may interest you. Classified work, government funding, significant compensation. If interested, call this number. Do not discuss this letter with anyone. Just a phone number. Classified work could mean anything. CIA. Defense. Something I'd regret. But significant compensation meant money, meant paying off loans. I called. A man answered. Cold voice. No greeting. Name and clearance level. I don't have a clearance level. I'm calling about a letter. Name. Sarah Chen. Hold. 3 minutes of silence, then a different voice. Older. Professional. Dr. Chen, I'm Dr. William Garrett. I oversee a research program that requires someone with your expertise. What kind of program? I can't discuss that over the phone. Primate communication. Similar to your dissertation work, but with a more advanced subject. What species? I can't say until you've been cleared. If you're interested, come to Washington. We'll interview you, run a background check. If approved, we'll make an offer. And if I'm approved, what would I be doing? Teaching a subject to communicate. Sign language initially. Spoken language if the subject demonstrates capacity. 3-year contract. $15,000 per year. Housing and expenses provided. I almost dropped the phone. $15,000 was a fortune in 1967. More than double what assistant professors made. That's very generous. We value your expertise. The work is demanding. Remote location. Limited outside contact. How remote? You'd be living on site. Limited communication with the outside world. Mail screened. Phone calls supervised. That should have been a red flag. But I was 24, desperate, and the money was too good to refuse. When would you need me? How soon can you get here? I thought about David, about teaching community college, about giving up my research. 2 weeks, I said. Excellent. I'll send travel details. And Dr. Chen, don't discuss this with anyone. This is classified. I understand. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane to D.C. They put me in a hotel near the Pentagon. Next morning, a car picked me up. Black sedan. Driver didn't speak. We drove for 30 minutes. Through D.C. into an industrial area. Underground garage beneath an unmarked building. Elevator down 3 floors. Windowless office. Dr. Garrett was waiting. Maybe 60. Gray hair. Wire-rimmed glasses. Cardigan over a white shirt. Looked like a professor. Spoke like a bureaucrat. Dr. Chen, please sit. I sat. He pulled out a folder. Before we proceed, I need you to understand the nature of what we do here. Everything you're about to learn is classified. Top secret. Violation carries severe penalties. Up to 20 years in federal prison. Do you understand? Yes. I need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement. Once you sign, I can tell you more. But signing means you're committed to secrecy, even if you decline the position. He slid papers across the desk. I should have left, but I didn't. I signed. Dr. Garrett collected the papers. Then he looked at me. Dr. Chen, what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but everything I say is true. Okay. In 1962, our program acquired a specimen, a large bipedal creature, approximately 8 feet tall, covered in dark fur, captured in the Cascade Mountains. I stared at him. The specimen displays high intelligence, tool use, social behaviors, complex vocalizations, but we haven't been able to establish reliable communication. What kind of creature? We don't have a formal classification. Colloquially, the species is referred to as Sasquatch, or Bigfoot. I almost laughed, but Dr. Garrett's face was completely serious. You're telling me Bigfoot is real. I'm telling you we have a specimen in custody. It's very real. It's intelligent, and we need someone who can teach it to communicate. That's impossible. 5 years ago, I would have agreed, but I've seen it, worked with it, and I'm telling you, it exists. It's intelligent, and we need to understand it. I sat there, trying to process this. This had to be a test. But Dr. Garrett wasn't smiling. Why do you need it to communicate? Because we don't know what it is. We don't know if there are more. We don't know if they pose a threat. And the only way to find out is to ask. You want me to teach Bigfoot to talk. We want you to teach it to understand us, and hopefully, to respond. Sign language initially. If it demonstrates capacity, we'll move to spoken language. And if I say no, then you leave this building. You never speak of this conversation. And we find someone else. And if I say yes, you start next Monday. We'll fly you to the facility. 3-year contract. You'll live on site. No outside contact except approved mail and supervised phone calls. Where is the facility? Cascade Mountains, Washington State. Remote location. Completely secure. Can I see the creature before I commit? No. You commit first. If you can't handle it once you're there, you can leave. But you'll still be bound by the non-disclosure agreement. I thought about it. This was insane. But Dr. Garrett's face was deadly serious, and $15,000 a year was real money. Even if the subject turned out to be something else, some unknown ape species, it would still be groundbreaking. If I do this, and it works, can I publish? No. Everything is classified. No papers. No conferences. This research will never see the light of day. Then what's the point? The point, Dr. Chen, is that you'll be doing the most important communication research in human history. You'll be the first person to establish dialogue with a non-human intelligence of this caliber. He stood up. I need your answer. I thought about my empty bank account, my failed job applications, David pressuring me to give up, and I thought about the possibility, however small, that this was real. I'll do it. Dr. Garrett smiled. Welcome to Project Ember. The next week was a blur. Background checks, medical exams, security briefings. They made me write a letter to David, scripted. David, I've accepted a research position. It's classified. I can't tell you where or what I'll be doing. 3-year contract. I'm sorry. Sarah. I mailed it from DC. 2 days later, I got his response. Sarah, I can't do this. I can't be with someone who won't tell me anything. I'm done. David, I read it sitting on the hotel bed. Should have felt something. Sadness, regret. But I just felt relieved. I folded the letter, put it in my bag, and focused on the work ahead. They flew me to Washington State the following Monday. Small military plane, no windows, just me and 2 other people who didn't speak. We landed somewhere remote, dense forest, mountains, drove for over an hour on dirt roads, deep into the wilderness. Then we arrived. The facility was built into a mountain, large concrete building, chain link fence topped with barbed wire, guard towers, armed guards at the gate, underground garage, most of it buried. I met the director, Colonel Hayes, military, 50s, crew cut, cold eyes. Dr. Chen, welcome to Project Ember. We've had 3 researchers before you. None lasted more than 6 months. The subject is difficult, aggressive at times, uncooperative. If you can't handle it, Tell me now." "I can handle it. Your quarters are on level 2, Research lab is level 4. Subject is housed on level 5. You start tomorrow. 0800 hours. Can I see the subject today?" "No. Tomorrow. Get settled. Read the files." He dismissed me. A guard escorted me through concrete corridors, fluorescent lights, everything gray. We took an elevator to level 2. My quarters were at the end of a hallway. Small room, bed, desk, lamp, tiny bathroom. No windows. Like a cell. On the desk was a stack of folders, stamped Project Ember, classified. Meals in the cafeteria, level 3. 0600, 1200, 1800 hours. Don't wander. Stay in authorized areas. The guard left. I sat on the bed. Concrete walls, metal furniture, fluorescent light humming overhead. I'd just signed away 3 years of my life. I pulled the folders off the desk, started reading. The files were thin, most pages redacted, but here's what I learned. Subject designation: P1, Project Ember, Subject 1. Capture. Date: October 19th, 1962. Physical description: bipedal hominid, approximately 8 feet 2 inches tall. Weight estimated 470 pounds. Dark brown fur covering entire body, except face, palms, soles of feet. Large hands, opposable thumbs. Forward-facing eyes. Behavioral observations. Subject displays high intelligence. Tool use observed. Vocalizations include grunts, howls, whistles, and complex sounds that may constitute language. Generally non-cooperative with research staff. Has injured 3 handlers. Requires sedation for medical examinations. Previous communication attempts. Researcher 1, Dr. Patrick Moore. June 63 to December 63. Basic conditioning. Subject learned to press buttons for food rewards. Discontinued after subject became aggressive and destroyed equipment. Researcher 2, Dr. Ellen Shaw. February 64 to July 64. Sign language training. Subject learned approximately 15 signs, but ceased cooperation after 4 months. Discontinued. Researcher 3, Dr. Robert Kim, January 66 to June 66. Advanced sign language and simple spoken commands. Subject initially cooperative, learned approximately 20 signs. Cooperation ceased abruptly in May 66. Subject became withdrawn. Discontinued. Current status: subject housed in secure containment cell, level 5. Fed twice daily. Exercise period once daily in secured courtyard. Weather permitting, 1 hour maximum. Minimal human contact. That was it. Nothing about where it came from, how they'd found it, why they'd captured it. Just clinical observations. Cold. Detached. I read through the files 3 times. Then I tried to sleep. Couldn't. Tomorrow, I was going to meet a Bigfoot. The next morning, I reported to Level 4 at 0745. Dr. Brennan was waiting outside the research lab. Maybe 40. Short. Dark hair pulled back in a tight bun. White lab coat. Clipboard. No nonsense. Dr. Chen, I'm Dr. Brennan. I supervise your work. Before you meet the subject, we need to establish protocols. She led me into the lab. Observation windows, recording equipment, cameras, tables, chairs. But one wall was different. A large window. Thick glass. Reinforced. Looking down into a room below. That's the primary containment area. The subject is in the holding cell. You'll work with it in the observation room. Sessions are 45 minutes, twice daily. 0800 and 1400 hours. Can I see it? In a moment. First, rules. Never enter the containment area alone. Always have at least 2 guards present. Never turn your back on the subject. If it displays aggression, charging, vocalizing loudly, baring teeth, exit immediately. Clear? Clear. The subject understands some basic signs from previous research. Food, water, sleep, pain, cold, hot. Yes, no. But it stopped cooperating with Dr. Kim 8 months ago. We don't know why. Maybe it was bored. Dr. Brennan gave me a look. This isn't a chimpanzee. It's not performing for treats. It's calculating, deciding whether to cooperate. And so far, it's decided we're not worth engaging with. Then why do you think I'll be different? Because you're the 4th researcher, and Colonel Hayes is losing patience. If this doesn't work, if we can't establish reliable communication within your 3-year contract, the program gets shut down, and the subject gets euthanized. My stomach dropped. You'd kill it? We can't keep it indefinitely if it serves no research purpose. What if it's capable of communication but just doesn't want to talk to us? Then it's made its choice, and we'll make ours. She walked to the observation window. Come here. I walked over, looked down through the thick glass, and I saw it. The creature was massive, sitting on the floor of a concrete cell. Maybe 20 feet by 20 feet, completely bare. Just concrete floor, concrete walls, a drain in the corner, and a small metal door. The creature sat with its back against the far wall, knees pulled up to its chest, long arms wrapped around its legs, head resting on its knees, just sitting there, staring at nothing. 8 feet tall. Even sitting, it looked enormous. Dark brown fur covering its body, broad shoulders, long, powerful arms. But what struck me most was its face. It wasn't quite human. The brow ridge was too pronounced, the jaw too heavy, the nose too flat. But it wasn't quite ape either. The eyes were too human, too aware. And right now, those eyes looked empty, defeated, like it had given up. How long has it been in that cell? I asked. 5 years, since capture. And it's been in that room the entire time. It gets 1 hour in the exercise yard daily, weather permitting. That's it? 1 hour outside in 5 years? That's it. I stared at the creature. It didn't move, didn't look up, just sat there like a broken thing. Has it always been like this? No. When it first arrived, it was aggressive, violent. We had to keep it sedated for the first year. Then it calmed down. But in the last 8 months, since Dr. Kim stopped working with it, it's been like this. Doesn't react, doesn't vocalize, just sits. It's depressed. Dr. Brennan looked at me. It's an animal. It's intelligent. Intelligence means consciousness. Consciousness means the capacity for suffering. Your job isn't to psychoanalyze it. Your job is to teach it to communicate. And if it's too depressed to engage, then you fail, and the program ends. I looked back at the creature. 5 years in a concrete cell. 1 hour of daylight a day. And they wondered why it wouldn't cooperate. When do I start? Tomorrow. 0800. She handed me a folder. Previous session notes. Read them tonight. She left. I stood at the window for a long time, watching the creature. It didn't move, just sat there in that concrete cell, alone. And I realized something. This wasn't just about teaching it to communicate. This was about reaching something that had given up on the world. And I had no idea if that was even possible. That night, I read through every session note from the previous researchers. Dr. Moore's notes were clinical. Cold. He'd treated the subject like a lab rat. Operant conditioning. Button pressing for food rewards. The subject had destroyed the equipment after 3 months. Dr. Shaw's notes were more detailed. She'd tried sign language. The subject had learned 15 signs relatively quickly, but then her notes changed tone. Session 47. Subject refused to sign today. Sat in corner. Wouldn't look at me. Session 51. Subject appears depressed. Won't engage. She left 2 weeks later. Dr. Kim's note started optimistic. Session 12. Subject signed water and vocalized water. First clear attempt at speech. Session 23. Subject responds to verbal commands. Combining signs into 2-word phrases. More food. Water cold. Sleep now. But then, abruptly, Session 68. Subject refused all interaction today. Don't understand what changed. Session 72. Subject charged at me today. Guards intervened. Don't feel safe continuing. He left 2 weeks later. 3 researchers. All failed. All because the subject stopped cooperating. I thought about it for hours. Then I realized something. All 3 had treated it like a subject, an experiment. None had treated it like a person. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe it had figured out it was just a lab rat to them. I decided something that night. I wasn't going to treat it like a subject. I was going to treat it like someone I was trying to understand. The next morning, I reported to the observation room at 0750. Dr. Brennan was there. 2 armed guards. Cameras recording. Subject is being brought up. Stay near the security door. If it charges, exit immediately. Understood. The observation room was larger than the holding cell, maybe 30 feet by 30 feet. Concrete floor. White walls. Bright fluorescent lights. In the center was a metal table. 2 metal chairs. Everything bolted to the floor. A door opened on the far side of the room. The creature entered. It had to duck to fit through the doorway. Moved slowly. hunched over slightly. Then it straightened up, 8 feet tall, maybe more. Shoulders as wide as a door frame, arms that hung down past its knees, covered in dark brown fur, matted in places. It looked around the room, eyes scanning. Then it saw me and stopped. We looked at each other. I was standing near the security door. The creature was across the room, maybe 20 feet away. For a long moment, neither of us moved. Then I did something Dr. Brennan had specifically told me not to do. I sat down on the floor, cross-legged, hands visible in my lap, making myself smaller, less intimidating. "Hello," I said softly. The creature didn't react. I pointed at myself. "Sarah." Then I pointed at the creature. It tilted its head slightly, watching me. I made the sign for name, 2 fingers tapping my chest. "Sarah." Then the sign for you, pointing at the creature with an open palm. No response, just staring. I waited, didn't move, didn't speak, just sat there, calm, patient. The creature watched me for maybe 5 minutes. Then slowly, very slowly, it sat down, legs bent, arms resting on its knees, mirroring my non-threatening posture. And it looked at me, really looked at me. Not with aggression, not with fear, with curiosity, like it was trying to figure out what I wanted. I smiled slightly, made the sign for friend, hands clasped together. Friend. The creature's eyes followed my hands. Then it looked back at my face. We sat like that for the rest of the session. Not moving, not signing, not speaking. Just looking at each other. Building the first fragile thread of connection. When Dr. Brennan's voice came through the speaker. "Session time, Dr. Chen." I stood up slowly, made the sign for goodbye, waving gently. "Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow." The creature watched me leave, didn't move, but something had changed. I could feel it. Over the next week, I kept doing the same thing, sitting on the floor, being present, not pushing, just being there. Slowly, the creature started to respond. By the 3rd session, it sat down immediately when I did. By the 5th session, it started watching my hands more closely when I signed. By the 7th session, it copied one of my signs. I'd made the sign for hello, hand waving slightly. The creature watched, then slowly lifted one massive hand and waved back. Crude, uncertain, but intentional. Communication. I smiled. "Yes." "Hello?" The creature made a sound. Low, soft, not a growl, not a grunt. Almost like a greeting. I felt tears in my eyes. After 5 years of isolation, this creature was trying to talk to me. Over the next 3 months, we built a vocabulary. I started with the basics. Signs the creature had learned before. Food, water, sleep, cold, hot, pain. Yes, no. It remembered them all. Then I added new ones. Happy, sad, tired, scared, angry, emotions. The creature Learned them quickly. Too quickly. It wasn't just mimicking, it was understanding. When I showed it the sign for sad, pulling hands down the face, it looked at me for a long moment, then signed back. Sad. And I knew it wasn't just copying. It was telling me how it felt. I started bringing simple pictures, line drawings, tree, sky, bird, rock, water, things from outside. Every time I showed it a picture of something from nature, the creature would touch the image gently, almost reverently, like it was remembering. One day, I showed it a picture of a forest, trees, mountains, a stream. The creature stared at it for a long time, then looked at me. Signed, outside? Yes, outside. Forest. The creature touched the picture, then hummed. Before. Yes, you were in the forest before you came here. It looked at the picture again. They'd signed something that broke my heart. Home. By the 6th month, we had over 100 signs. The creature could make simple requests. Sarah, give food. Water cold. Want hot. Tired. Want sleep. But it also started asking questions. Where Sarah go? When sessions ended. Why here? Pointing at the containment room. When outside? Gesturing toward the ceiling. Questions I couldn't answer honestly, because the truth was too cruel. I deflected. I don't know when you can go outside. I'm sorry. The creature would look at me, those intelligent eyes seeing right through my evasions. But it didn't push. Just accepted the non-answers and kept learning. By the 9th month, I tried something new. Instead of just signs, I started speaking words out loud, matching them to the signs. Food. Sign for food. Water. Sign for water. The creature watched my mouth, my lips, the way I shaped sounds. Then one day, it made a sound back. Food. I froze. Yes, food. Duh. Food. The creature tried again. Duh. Closer. I could barely breathe. Yes. Food. You said food. The creature looked at me, then signed. More? Yes, more words. I'll teach you more. Over the next month, it learned 10 spoken words. Rough, unpracticed. The creature's vocal anatomy wasn't built for human speech, but understandable. Food, water, sleep, cold, hot, pain. Yes, no, Sarah. When it said my name for the first time, Sahra, I cried. Dr. Brennan was ecstatic. This is groundbreaking. We need to expand the vocabulary immediately. Get it to full sentences. Colonel Hayes visited, watched through the observation glass. Can it answer questions verbally? Not yet. It understands questions. It can answer with signs or simple words, but full sentences will take time. How much time? Maybe another year, maybe more. This is unprecedented. You have 18 months left on your contract. Make it happen. By the end of the first year, the creature had a vocabulary of 200 signs and 30 spoken words. It could form simple sentences. Sarah, give food hot. Water cold. No want. Sleep now. Tired much. but it also started showing more emotion in sessions. When I arrived each morning, it would make a sound, a greeting, almost like it was happy to see me. When sessions ended, it would slump, shoulders drooping. It didn't want me to leave. I started staying longer. 45 minutes became an hour, then 90 minutes. Dr. Brennan noticed. "You're exceeding session parameters. It's working. The more time I spend, the faster it learns. Maintain boundaries. Don't get emotionally involved." But I was already emotionally involved. I cared about this creature, and it cared about me. 15 months in, I made a request. Went to Colonel Hayes' office, Roth. "The subject needs enrichment. Books, pictures, something to stimulate it between sessions." Denied. Why? Security. It's in a concrete cell, 23 hours a day. It's intelligent. It's suffering. It's a subject, not a pet. It's a person. Hayes stared at me. "You're here to teach it to communicate, not to advocate for it. It's psychological torture. Stay in your lane." I left his office furious. That night, I smuggled something into the facility. A children's book. Simple pictures. Basic words. During the next session, I showed it to the creature. Its eyes went wide. It reached for the book carefully, gently, turned pages, looked at pictures. A drawing of a tree. "Tree," I said. It touched the picture. "Tuaree?" "Yes, tree." It looked at me, then signed. "Outside?" "Yes. Trees are outside." It looked at the picture again, and something in its expression broke my heart. It remembered. It remembered being outside, being free, before they'd taken it. Then, it signed something I wasn't expecting. Before. Me, outside. Trees. Yes, you were outside before you came here. It stared at the picture, then signed. Child. Trees. Child see trees. My stomach dropped. "You had a child?" "Yes." "You showed your child trees?" "Yes, before here. Child small. Me show trees, sky, water, all things." "Where's your child now?" The creature closed the book carefully, handed it back to me, then signed. "Gone." I stood there frozen. "Gone?" "Yes, gone." "What happened?" The creature looked at me for a long time, then and slowly, deliberately. "They come. Many. Loud. Scared. Child scared. Me protect. They hurt. Child fall. Me fight. They hurt child. Child gone. Then hurt me, take me, bring here." I felt sick. "The people who brought you here, they hurt your child." "Yes, your child died." The creature made a sound. Mournful. "Yes, child die. They kill. Then take me." I sat down hard on the floor. My hands were shaking. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "I know. Sarah not there. Sarah not hurt. But Sarah here. Sarah with them." "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Sorry no bring child back." "No, it doesn't." We sat in silence for the rest of the session. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about what the creature had told me. They'd killed its child. To capture it. and I'd been teaching it to speak for 15 months without knowing. I had to find out the truth. I broke protocol, used my security clearance to access the classified archives. Found the original capture report from October '62. Most of it was redacted, blacked out. But I found one section that wasn't. Capture summary. Target specimen, PE1, was located in remote Sector 7 Alpha with juvenile offspring. Estimated age 3 to 4 years. Assessment determined adult subject could not be safely subdued while protecting offspring. Field team made tactical decision to neutralize juvenile threat. Juvenile specimen was terminated via rifle fire, 3 rounds, center mass. Adult subject became aggressive following offspring termination. Subject was subdued using tranquilizer darts, 4 administrations required. Subject was transported to facility without further incident. Juvenile remains were disposed of on site per standard protocols. I read it 3 times. Neutralize, terminated, disposed of. They'd shot a child, 3 bullets, so they could capture its parent. And for 8 years, that parent had been sitting in a concrete cell, grieving. And now I'd taught it enough English to tell me what happened, to make me understand what they'd done, what I was part of. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd made a decision. I went to Colonel Hayes' office. I'm resigning. He looked up from his desk. Excuse me? I'm resigning. Effective immediately. You have 12 months remaining on your contract. I don't care. I'm leaving. May I ask why? Because you killed its child. To capture it. And nobody told me. Hayes's face showed no emotion. That information was classified above your clearance level. You murdered a child and imprisoned its parent for 8 years. For what? We're gathering intelligence on a potential threat. It's not a threat. It's a parent whose child you killed. You're being emotional. This is science. This is evil. Hayes stood. You signed a contract. If you break it, you'll never work in research again. I'll personally ensure it. And you're still bound by your NDA. Speak of this to anyone, you go to federal prison. Perfectly clear. So I'll ask again. Are you sure you want to resign? I thought about my career, about what I'd be giving up. Then I thought about the creature sitting in that cell. I'm sure. Hayes stared at me. Fine. Sign the paperwork. And never speak of this again. What happens to the subject? That's no longer your concern. Will you continue the research? We'll assign another specialist. And if nobody else can make it cooperate? Hayes didn't answer. You'll kill it. Dr. Chen, you're dismissed. I went to the lab, asked Dr. Brennan for one final session. She approved it. The creature was brought up to the observation room, saw me, made that greeting sound, sat down across from me. I sat too. I'm leaving, I said. The creature tilted its head, signed. Leaving? Yes, going away. I won't be coming back. Why? Because I can't do this anymore. I can't be part of what they did to you. What they do? They took you. They hurt you. They killed your child. And I've been helping them keep you here. The creature looked at me, signed, Sarah, not hurt. Sarah, not kill. Sarah, teach. Sarah, kind. But I'm still part of it. I work for them, and that makes me responsible. No, Sarah, friend, not same. It is the same. We sat in silence. Then the creature signed. I ask question? Yes, anything. It looked at me for a long moment. Then it spoke. Not signed. Spoke. 5 words. Clear. Deliberate. A question I'd been dreading since I read that file. A question I couldn't answer. Why did you kill my child? I sat there frozen, unable to speak, unable to breathe. The creature waited, patient, expecting an answer. Why? It asked again, slowly, carefully forming each word. I didn't, I finally said, my voice barely a whisper. I wasn't there. I didn't kill your child. The creature looked at me. You know. Them, yes. But you here. You with them. Same. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know until 2 days ago. But now know. Still here. I'm leaving. Today. Because of what they did. Leaving help? No. Bring child back. No. Nothing can bring your child back. Then why matter? I started crying. It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The creature reached out, placed one massive hand on my shoulder. Gently. I know, Sarah, sorry. I am. I really am. But sorry, no answer question. I know. The creature removed its hand. I ask again, why kill child? I took a shaky breath. To capture you. They couldn't take you while you were protecting your child, so they killed it. So you'd be vulnerable, so they could take you easily. Why want me? To study you, to understand what you are, to see if there are more like you. Why? Because you're different. Because they don't understand you. Because they're afraid of what they don't understand. The creature processed this. So, kill child, take parent, put in box, teach human words. This why? Its hand tightened slightly on my shoulder. This human way? I couldn't answer, couldn't defend it, couldn't make it make sense. Because it didn't make sense. We'd killed a child and imprisoned its parent for 8 years. For research, for national security, for science. The creature looked at me with those intelligent, grieving eyes. I understand now. Understand what? Why you teach me talk. What do you mean? So I can know what you are, what humans do. It stood up slowly, looked down at me. Thank you, Sarah. For teach, for kind, for friend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't do more. You do much. You teach, speak. Now I can ask. Now I can say. It walked to the door, stopped, turned back. When they kill me, I know why now. Because I know what they do. Because I can say. They won't. Yes, they will. When no more use, when no more teach, they kill, like child. The door opened, guards waiting. The creature looked at me one last time. Goodbye, Sarah. You good. Remember, you good. Then it left. That was the last time I saw it. They processed my exit that afternoon, made me sign papers. Pages and pages. Put me in a car, drove me to the airport, put me on a plane, flew me back to DC, gave me a check for the 15 months I'd worked, and sent me on my way. I went back to California. My apartment had been sublet, my belongings in storage. David was gone, married to someone else, I heard later. My advisor had retired. I had no job, no references, no way to explain the gap in my resume. I took a position teaching high school biology, lived alone, tried to forget, but I never could. 6 months after I left, I got a letter. Plain envelope, no return address. Inside was a newspaper clipping. Fire at remote government facility. A fire at an undisclosed government research facility in the Cascade Mountains resulted in the facility's closure this week. Officials report no casualties. The nature of research conducted at the facility remains classified. No casualties. But I knew better. They'd shut down Project Ember, and I knew what happened to subjects when programs ended. The creature was dead, killed, probably euthanized humanely. After everything, after learning to speak, after asking the question nobody could answer. Why did you kill my child? I'm 81 now. Dying. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. Maybe 6 weeks left. For 54 years I've kept silent, afraid of prison, afraid of destroying what little life I'd built. But I'm not afraid anymore. I taught a grieving parent to speak our language, so it could ask me why we'd murdered its child, and I had no answer. Because there was no answer. We did it because we wanted to study it, because it was different, because we could. And when it learned enough language to ask why, we killed it too. The government will deny this. They'll say I'm senile, delusional, making things up. And there's no proof, no photos, no recordings, no documents I can show, just my word. But I'm telling you now. In 1962, the United States government captured a Bigfoot, killed its child to do it, imprisoned it for 8 years, taught it to understand English. And when it finally asked the question we couldn't answer, they killed it and made sure nobody would ever know. But I know. I was there. I taught it. I heard the question, and I'll carry it to my grave. Why did you kill my child? Because we're human, and that's what we do.